Hello, friends. Welcome to another edition of Big Al's Rockin' Podcast. In this edition, I have Jeff Irvin and Kyle Brandt from the Kansas City alt metal experimental group, A Light Within. And they recently came back from a hiatus and have released a single called A Dying Clock that is just over 9 minutes long. And when I listen to this song, I hear elements of Tool and A Perfect Circle, a little bit of Pink Floyd in there. And one thing that I noticed that I don't know, maybe it was just because I heard them earlier today, but the beginning of that song, I heard a little bit of Alan Parsons in there. So tell our listeners a little bit about this song and the inspiration behind it.
Sure, I can start again.
Yeah,
You want me to start, Jeff?
go for it.
All right. All right. This song was originally written during the COVID lockdown era. So I was just at home doing well, actually it started in the room when
Yeah.
we were jamming as a band, and it was just very, very rough recording. And I took about, I don't know, 4 or 5 bass note progressions and ended up writing a full song around it. And then it kind of I proposed the idea to the guys. It was kind of iffy reception, so it kind of just sat in the Dropbox for a while, and then revisited it a couple years later and promoted it again to the guys. And Jeff was all on board. So here we are. I don't know, about 6 months ago, Jeff. We decided to pull it out of the archives and start working on it again. And Jeff was like, "Oh, I think Kelly would do drums on it." So he sent it off to him, and he liked the potential of it and was willing to put his name on it. And once we got the drums back, we rearranged some things and added some. Had another friend put some bass down on it, and it is what it is. It turned out the way it turned out, and we're really happy about the way it turned out. That's kind of a quick backstory.
Well, that's a pretty good backstory. A lot of people put out actually some pretty good music. Even though COVID was pretty devastating, it still kind of had a somewhat positive influence on the music community in the fact that they've got time to sit down and write now because nobody's doing anything.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So I understand that you've written quite a bit of new music for 2026.
I wouldn't say quite a bit. I mean, we've got ideas that were in some sort of stages before, you know, we started doing these other things, and we're working on those slowly, but probably faster than we've worked on stuff in the past. So hopefully we'll have some new stuff in 2026 and compile that together for maybe an album release or whatever. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we're trying to take a different approach nowadays. The Light Within's traditionally been a band that writes in the room. We were getting together once a week as we could, and kind of just live jamming, impromptu stuff, and then hope we remembered everything the following week when we got back together again. So, a lot of ideas would get lost. A lot of things it would just, it was to a crawl. So now we're really trying to join the modern times and write at home, working over the internet, Dropbox, etc., sharing ideas. And there's a lot of ideas that are just sitting in the archive now where we can just take the simplest guitar riff and try and turn that into something. So, for instance, Jeff came over to my house last week and we took the simplest little guitar riff, and now we've got like a really good idea for our next probably song that we're going to work on here coming soon. So we're pretty excited about that. So yeah, just moving along with the times of modern technology. And it's not that we don't want to be in the room together. It's just that everybody in the band really just has like kids and, jobs, and it's just the busyness and the age that we're at now. It's just harder for us all to get in the same room at the same time. So we're just trying to adapt.
Every band that is not already famous has the same struggle.
Oh yeah.
Whether you're in a cover band like I am or an original band like you guys, I have some friends around here that do original music, and they, have the same, and I won't call it a complaint, but they have the same complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of your band, talk a little bit about the members of your band.
All right. So got me, Kyle, and Nick is our drummer, Nick Sloan, and then Josh Bennett was our first guitarist along with me, And then when we lost our bassist, Andy Schiller, who did our 2 of our EPs with us, Josh wanted to move to bass. So we kind of refined our sound a little bit that way. So those guys have been around with us from the beginning, and we were all in previous bands in the Kansas City scene. And when my band had broken up, I reached out to these guys right away because we played together at different shows, and I really loved Kyle's voice. I love what Josh and Nick were doing in their band. So I just kind of picked apart some of the guys in the scene, and luckily every band that they were in at that point too were kind of disseminating like my previous band was.
Very cool. Speaking of recordings, I did look at your Bandcamp page, and I see that you guys have been around for a while. You've got Preface, the EP that came out in 2013, followed by Body Matter in 2015, 2018 Epilogue, 2023 Reconstruction, and 2024 RE Preface. Preface. I'm good at mispronouncing words. So, you guys want to talk a little bit about each of those albums?
Yeah, sure. I can start. So Preface was the very first EP that we put out. We were a brand new band, really young, don't know what the hell we're doing. And I was just diving into the whole music production thing. And, we were broke. So we were just like, well, I'll do it. We can do it ourselves. So we put out some demos. Really, it was just a 3-song little demo CD now that I look back at it. And so when you see Repreface, that was me and Jeff going back and remixing, re-recording some parts and remastering what we originally wanted it to sound like. So, when we re-released that, we wanted to give a better idea of what we had envisioned, as artists, even though it probably still doesn't hold up to super modern mixes, because we're still dealing with raw tracks that we had recorded way back in the day. I still am proud of the way we got it to sound in the end, using some modern technology and redoing some parts. That said, we did Body Matter. We brought in Andy on bass and wrote the tracks on Body Matter. That's really, I think, when the band matured and really came into its own. Like a unique sound, and we really had a lot of success during Body Matter. We made it into a lot of pretty big name magazines and got some push behind us and started getting quite a good amount of people out at our shows. So that was a great era for the band. We were really working hard during that era. And then same goes with Epilogue. We were trying to wrap up the 3 EP concept that we were going with. If you speaking of the concept, if you dive into the track names, they all have like page numbers associated to them. The whole theme of that was that we were trying to create this theme of a found diary, and this diary represented the history of this person's life. And we, as a band, were taking those diary pages and transcribing them into more of a musical format. So that's kind of what the theme of those 3 EPs were. And then once Epilogue was done, that's right when COVID hit. So we were kind of like coming to a peak as a band, and really think we were on board, and COVID hit and kind of shut the whole scene down in the area. And that's when we kind of just dissolved after that. So like you said earlier, it was kind of there's some pros and some cons to COVID. The con was it kind of killed off our live momentum. And then the pros are now we're kind of adapting into the modern way of songwriting, even though we really do miss the old way as well. Anything you want to throw onto that, Jeff?
Yeah, and I would just say that Reconstruction is not really a finished album yet or anything like that. So we are putting the singles under the Reconstruction umbrella, because those singles were going to eventually become Reconstruction, hopefully with Dying Clock and then 2 or 3 other ones that we're going to be working on.
Well,
yeah, and like as far as music production goes, I'm already listening back to some tracks on Reconstruction, and I'm like, man, I could make those so much better now. So I'm already looking at those as like demos. So if we're to rehash those in the future, I know I can make those sound way better.
Yeah, that does explain why the title is 2023 plus.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say that we have a strategy behind that. We've had a history of taking a long time to write and put out music. So the fans that we do have are always, wanting more. And sometimes we kind of feel like Tool, where it takes forever to get anything out. So instead of, building this backlog of songs and then trying to push them all out at once, we've just decided to release things as we kind of get done with them. That way it keeps people a little bit more engaged, as well as we're finding when we're combating with modern technology, it's really hard to keep people's attention. You don't have the people that just sit there and listen to a full album anymore. It's way too easy to just swipe left or swipe next, and you're on to the next thing. So it's really hard for us in the genre of music that we're putting out to try and grab people's attention within the first 20 to 30 seconds. But it is what it is, and that's why we're trying to release just singles one at a time, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm one of those people that would much rather you put your single out than me have to wait for a year or two for your whole album to come out.
Yeah.
So I like the concept that you've got going on here. Are you planning on doing any festivals or any kind of touring to support your upcoming music?
That'd be nice. We've started talking about it again, but we haven't really got into any like trying to, pursue any of those opportunities yet. If they come to us, then we'll definitely start looking to a lot harder. But at the moment, we're just taking it day by day and trying to get the new stuff completed to a good spot.
Yeah, I'd say my opinion on that topic is like I'm always willing to entertain the idea, especially if it's something great that comes our way. But I think right now we're just focusing on, the reconstruction of the band, and seeing who actually would be available to do more of a live type of atmosphere again. But I know that I would put forth the effort to do it if there was a demand for it. So I don't really want to put forth a bunch of effort and go out and beg people to come. But if I have audience that's begging for a Light Within music to be played live, then I would gladly do it.
That's a very good answer. So is there anything that you guys would like to mention that we have yet to discuss?
As far as the music goes, I don't know. I'm always doing music. If you like the Light Within stuff, if you like my voice, I have other projects as well. Jeff and I work together on another project called Molotov. That's more of my branding, but I have a lot of guest appearances on there. So if a Light Within runs too slow for you, you can always check that out as well. It's on Bandcamp, any other streaming audio. So I'm promoting Molotov, Molitoth, as well as a Light Within. That's why we're here. So.
Well, that was kind of the next question I was going to ask. Where can my audience find you online?
Yeah, the typical places. We always prefer Bandcamp the best because it seems to stream the highest quality audio, as well as it links directly to merch stores, etc. So if you want to help, help in the financial department, that always helps the band and we always just turn around and put that money right back into the music project. So if we get anything coming through Bandcamp, it just goes right back into merch or right back into mastering or anything like that. So that helps. And otherwise we always post our stuff on all the streaming platforms. So you can find us on YouTube Music, Spotify. As much as we hate those things, that's what people use. So yeah, it's a love-hate relationship. I use Spotify myself just because of the convenience, and my family loves it. But as an artist, I despise it. So yeah, you can find us anywhere.
All right. Well, Jeff and Kyle, thanks for your time. And I'd also like to take a moment to thank Bob from Bradley PR and Marketing for making this connection. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for listening to Big Al's Rockin' Podcast. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe on your preferred podcast outlet. Visit BigAlRocks.com to find past episodes, on-demand links to my radio show, links to my social media, and other Big Al shenanigans. Most importantly, please like and share this episode. Peace out.